joy in every row. Come on down, we'll show you how what's fresh and green is growing now. At Bob's Market, we've got it all, from garden dreams to greenhouse halls. Catch the buzz, catch the show, where the best of the season grows. Tomatoes ripe, peppers bright, tips for keeping blooms in sight. Let's make your backyard glow. Tools and plants, advice for free. Bob's is where you want to be. At Bob's Market, we've got it all, from garden dreams to greenhouse halls. Catch the buzz, catch the show, where the best of the season grows.
Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Bob's Live, our weekly show right here on the internet. And well, this week I thought we would head back out to the greenhouse, to somewhere where we've been before. So, just about a month ago, I showed you our geranium baskets being transplanted and being hung up out in the greenhouse, and now they're starting to bloom. So we can kind of get an idea of the color varieties that we're going to have available. So I've got video of that, and then later on we're going to talk about the weather, and then also some upcoming plans with our podcast. So let's get into it, and first head out to the greenhouse. Hi, John Morgan here, and a little over a month ago, we were in this section of the greenhouse seeing these geranium baskets get hung up right after they were transplanted. And well, today we can see some of the first blooms of the season. Now, these are going to get trimmed, so that will help them kind of bush out a little bit before they eventually ship out. But now we can start to see some color. So let's take a closer look. Right here in this section, we have Calliope Bright Scarlet is this color. And then over there in the background, we have some purple. And then over here on the other side, we have some like deeper red, and then also some light pink. So I'll see if I can get a little bit closer and show those off. So up here, these with the pink in them, it's actually called medium white splash. If I get closer there, it's just a beautiful bloom. So these down here are a lot more pink, and the color is called Pink Flame. Alright, I had to zoom in to show off this one. It is called Rose Mega Splash, I think. I have to take a look at the tag again. But yeah, that bloom was just beautiful. But yeah, it was all the way up in the ceiling. So that was a quick update on our geranium baskets, and I'm all the way down here at the end of the row, and if I lift the camera up, that'll give you a better perspective of just how many we have hanging on this system. So it kind of acts like a big conveyor belt and carries them all the way down to the middle aisle where they get watered. And we'll check back in on these throughout the spring. And as always, for up-to-date information and kind of updates heading into the summer, head over to bobsmarket.com. So that was a quick look at our geranium baskets. And yeah, we're starting to see some of those first blooms of the season. And well, here at the end of next month, we're going to start shipping finished product south. So we'll have stuff in full bloom here in just a matter of weeks. And up next, I thought we'd take a look at the weather. This morning, it was kind of crazy. I know the weather forecast said rain. I drove to work in a pouring down snow. But we're in that time of year where it is nice and warm one day, and then we're back in the ice chest the next day. But if we take a look at the weather, right now it is 44, but when the sun pops out, it's saying that it feels like 60. Um, and right now there's basically no wind. So, yeah, if the sun does pop out, it will feel pretty warm. But the nice thing is the extended forecast. So tomorrow we're going to be up around 61 for the high. And then Saturday, break out the shorts because we're going to be 66 degrees and also sunny. So it would be a great day to get outside, do things like mulching flower beds. I just did a whole podcast episode on that. You can head over to our podcast and hear that episode. And I kind of did it with the forecast in mind. Um, I know I've got an outside project that I'm going to be probably working on this Saturday, trying to mow off some of my wildflower areas and get them cleared off. So that way, later on this spring, I can reseed those areas. And then it looks like Sunday, our temperature is going to drop back down. And then heading into next week, we cool off for a few days. But then look at that on Thursday and Friday of next week, 71 degrees. So I am hoping that forecast holds. And then, oh my land, I just scrolled over to Saturday, a high of 78. Wow, 78 next Saturday. Let's hope that holds out. And well, that is a quick look at the weather. And I mentioned the podcast. So the Keep Growing podcast. This time of year, we're not doing weekly episodes because, to be honest, there's not a lot of gardening to be done this time of year. However, what I've been doing is a once monthly episode that covers kind of gardening topics for the entire month. And then sort of a drill down sort of episode kind of mid month. And this month I chose to cover mulching flower beds. That's something you can do this time of year before stuff really starts sprouting and coming up. There are some considerations that you want to take, like not covering up your daffodils with 4 inches of mulch and smothering them. But you can get in, like, say you have a bed of hostas, you can get in, clear out that old nastiness from last fall, and get a fresh layer of mulch down so it looks good going into springtime. And also, it helps smother out any weeds before they can start and become a problem. So, this weekend, it's going to be a great time to get out and work on projects like that. And also, coming up here in March. So March 1st is, let's see, Saturday, right? Here in March, we're going to bring back our weekly episodes of Bob's Live. Or not Bob's Live, this is Bob's Live. Our weekly episodes of the Keep Growing podcast. So as opposed to doing sort of a general monthly to-do list, we're going to be looking at stuff for that week. And then we also cover things like the moon phase and how that translates to gardening. And then also the weather forecast. I kind of look at it for the week ahead, kind of give my best guess based off of what the National Weather Service is saying. And I try to aim for the 5 to 10 minute mark for the episode, and it comes out every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. So that way, you can listen to it on Saturday morning, I know we have a lot of weekend warriors when it comes to gardening, and that way you can listen to it on Saturday morning and kind of give you a jump on the gardening week ahead. So make sure that if you listen to podcasts that you go over and subscribe to the Keep Growing podcast. It's on all the major podcast platforms. I know I have kind of a daily routine. I get up in the morning, I listen to a bunch of news podcasts like right in a row. Of course, I have about a 30-minute drive to get to work, so I'm usually listening to news while I'm driving to work. And, well, that is all that I have for this week's episode of Bob's Live. So, until next time, keep growing.
At Bob's Market, we've got it all, from garden dreams to greenhouse halls. Catch the buzz, catch the show, where the best of the season